Hi, everybody. I'm Matthew Cardinale with Atlanta Progressive News. I'm so glad that you all are here. I saw you guys coming in and out, and I was like, oh, I hope everybody comes back to hear these comments, because we've spent a lot of time in the last week putting together our comments as a community, and so I'm just glad that you're here. I'm thankful to the members who I've had the opportunity to speak with over the last week. Councilwoman Adrian, Councilwoman Bottoms, Mr. Chairman Ivory Young, as well as individuals not on the committee who've taken interest. Alex Wan, of course, this being in his district, Michael Bond, who introduced the resolution, and Felicia Moore, who also took an interest in this matter. And Chairman Young, there's been a little bit of new information since we spoke by telephone, so that'll be coming out shortly. And I hope that you all received the email that I sent. It was an open letter to the committee. Basically, I had invited Michael Bond to come down to the Eagle to meet with the owners and the management and the patrons, and he did agree that he would be introducing this resolution. My initial understanding was that it was going to focus on asking the court to drop the charges against the 8 people, including the 4 men in their underwear and the staff members. And kind of in the couple of days leading up to Monday, the language about the apology was added. And I heard the discussion on Monday. I know that people are prepared to hold the bill, and I want to talk with you about a possible other option that would involve amending the resolution, and I would ask you to consider my idea. Basically, I think that if we were to remove the language about the apology and focus on asking the court to drop the charges against the 8 people, that might satisfy some of the legal concerns. I was pleased that the attorney for the city was here, and she told all of you that they were 2 separate matters. So I'm glad that we were able to clarify that already. The one case is the charges against the 8 people. The other case is constitutional issues. Was there excessive force? Was there mistreatment? And that's going to take probably a couple of years to settle all of that. And in the meantime, the 8 defendants are supposed to go to court next month. Will probably be settled a lot sooner than that. So the 2 cases are not related. In fact, if the city continues to pursue this case and the individuals are found either innocent or that it should have resulted in a $1,000 fine as opposed to the arrest of 8 people, then that could expose the city to further liability, and that could expose the taxpayers to further cost, because there could be an additional suit brought by the Eagle folks. So what I'm bringing to your attention today is an opportunity to not expose the city to further liability than it's already in. And as Robbie Kelly, I'm sure, will be testifying today, if the charges are dropped against the 8 people, then they are not going to come back and sue for a wrongful arrest, which there is a possibility that it could be wrongful arrest. And in my reporting for Atlanta Progressive News, I spoke with both Shalitha Robertson, who worked for the court dealing with these issues, as well as Liz Coyle, who worked on her NPU, also dealing with some of the clubs on Cheshire Bridge Road. They both told me that when there is a situation like this, it results in a $1,000 fine that goes through the municipal court process, not the arrest of 8 people. And so I'm concerned that there's some discrimination, some disparate treatment going on that all taxpayers should be concerned about. Holding the bill, which is what the discussion was on Monday and what Michael talked about a moment ago, I don't think it makes a lot of sense. And I don't think that people in the community will be very, very pleased with holding the bill. Holding the apology piece until the court is able to look at the Lambda legal lawsuit and the constitutional issues. I can see that. I can see not wanting to apologize for something you're being sued for. I mean, I think that's reasonable. But holding the piece about asking the court to drop the charges against the eight people does not make sense, because that's going to be over and done with. I mean, by the time the other suit that's pending goes through its course, I believe that the charges against the 8 people will have already been settled, and it's quite possible that the city could face even more liability. So I'm trying to present the council with an idea that could be an opportunity for the council today to prevent that from happening. Again, there's an issue of discrimination. There's preventing liability. That would be another reason to do this. Saving taxpayers money. I mean, it's going to cost the city money to continue to pursue the charges against the men in their underwear. And the city, my understanding, has already said that they're going to ask the 30 or 40 police officers to testify that they saw men dancing in their underwear. And I just don't think that taking police off the beat to do that is a good use of our resources either. Some of the other conversation on Monday, and when I was talking with Felicia Moore and Ivory as well, people were saying, well, let's let the issues be sorted out. You know, there was a Citizens Review Board complaint, there's been APD internal investigation, as well as the lawsuit. But all of that, again, is having to do with the mistreatment issue. And I would suggest to you that there's nothing left to be sorted out about the 8 men in their underwear. The 4 men in their underwear. There were 4 of them. They were in their underwear. They were dancing. They didn't have a permit. No one's disputing that they didn't have a permit. The only dispute is whether they knew that they needed a permit. I acknowledge that the city council does not have the power to drop the charges, but it would mean a lot to the community if the city council would ask that happen, and we would like to believe that the solicitor or the court would take that seriously. The only disagreement was about whether they needed the stripper permit, whether they were strippers or go-go dancers. The city law is not clear, so let's clarify it. But there must be a way to do it at less expense to the taxpayers. But you see, nobody raided the Atlanta Eagle expecting to arrest go-go dancers. They went in looking for drugs, sex, outstanding warrants, and found nothing. So this is about them not wanting to leave empty-handed. This is about them wanting to save face. And I ask, at what expense to the taxpayers, and at what expense to my friends and colleagues who are going through all the stress of having to go to court next month? So this city has got its undergarments in a wad, and I care enough about the city to break it down for you. If you all don't want to ask that the charges be dropped, that's fine. I think that's just going to result in the possibility of more money that the Eagle can sue for. And, with you all being the representatives of the citizens, I would just ask for you to consider even some of the emails I was copied on. I got an email from one of our readers in Buckhead who says that she doesn't care about the Eagle, she just cares about her taxpayer dollars. Finally, I think that amending the bill could be done quite easily. Michael's existing bill, it would just be striking out this statement about the apology and then kind of moving the piece about the dropping the charges over from a whereas to a hereby resolve. And that would be my idea. Thank you for considering this. Thank you.